In a quiet village tucked between rolling hills and a sacred forest lived Kofi, a young and ambitious man. Kofi was modern in his thinking, dismissing the traditions his ancestors had followed for generations. To him, the rituals and stories were relics of a past that no longer mattered. One day, Kofi inherited a piece of land, a sprawling, untouched forest filled with ancient trees. But to the villagers, this land was no ordinary place. It was sacred, the final resting ground of their ancestors. The elders begged Kofi not to sell it, warning of the spirits who protected it. But Kofi laughed. "What do spirits know about progress?" he said as he signed the papers to sell the land to a developer. That night, as Kofi slept, the first warning came. In his dream, he found himself standing in a dark forest. The trees seemed alive, their branches reaching for him like claws. Then, from the shadows, they appeared, the ancestors. Their faces glowed faintly, their eyes burning with anger. One stepped forward, a tall figure with a staff carved from ebony wood. It was Kofi's father. "You have desecrated our home," his father said, his voice echoing like a drumbeat. "Return the land, or suffer the wrath of those who came before you." Kofi woke up in a cold sweat. He dismissed the dream as a nightmare. But the ancestors were not done. The next day, strange things began to happen. As Kofi sat in his modern home, he heard whispers, soft at first, then louder, as if someone was standing right behind him. When he turned, no one was there. That night, as he walked through his living room, he noticed a portrait of his late father on the floor. He picked it up, only to see a red liquid dripping from its frame. Was it blood? Kofi couldn't tell. He threw the portrait aside, but the whispers returned. "Restore what you have taken, or suffer." Kofi began to feel the weight of the ancestors' wrath. But still, he refused to act. At the construction site, chaos erupted. Workers ran, claiming they had seen shadowy figures moving through the forest. Equipment broke down inexplicably. The developer called Kofi, demanding answers. But Kofi had none. All he could hear was the growing chorus of whispers, and now louder than ever. The ancestors were closing in. That night, they came to him again in a dream. His father, flanked by other spirits, spoke once more. "You were warned, my son. This is your last chance. Return the land, or face the consequences." Terrified and broken, Kofi finally sought help from his grandmother, Yesai, the village elder. She guided him to the shrine where the ancestors' spirits were said to linger. Together, they performed the ancient rituals, burning herbs, pouring libations, and chanting apologies to the spirits. Kofi begged for forgiveness, his voice trembling. The wind howled, and the fire in the shrine flickered violently. Then, as suddenly as it had begun, the chaos stopped. The ancestors had accepted his plea. But their warning was clear: disturb us again, and you will not live to tell the tale. Kofi learned a hard lesson that day. In the land of the living, the dead are never truly gone. The ancestors watch, and they do not forgive disrespect. Listener, remember this tale the next time you hear whispers in the night. It may be the wind, or it may be something far older and far angrier.
This has been African Tales from the Crypt. Until next time, sleep well.